In this chapter, we're going to build a multi-tiered, scalable web application. We're dealing with a lot of advanced concepts in this chapter, and they're not going to have meaning to you unless you've already been through the other decks or you're an advanced AWS user. We strongly suggest holding off this chapter until you've had a chance to review all of the other decks. In this chapter, we'll walk through a multi-tiered Drupal-based architecture, which we do in this lesson. We'll download a template that helps us build that architecture. We'll review and modify this template. We'll use that template to build the resources, review the resources in the AWS console, and then simulate load on the application and verify the scale up and down of resources. In this lesson, we're just going to look at the architecture itself. Although the only thing really required here is the creating an account with AWS lesson, we highly suggest that you go through the entire course. In an ideal world, you want to have about 90 to 120 minutes of time at your disposal. The resources in the stack will be charged, and they take a long time to spin up. It's best if you can complete all of this chapter's courses in one sitting. Again, this entire chapter is going to create multiple resources in AWS. There will absolutely be costs, but they should be minimal. Probably just a couple dollars if you do set aside 90 to 120 minutes and you go straight through. And also as long as you terminate this stack when you're done. You may want to terminate or rebuild if you cannot complete all of this chapter's exercises in one setting. Let's overview the stack that we'll build. First off, we're going to build an S3 bucket and attach an IAM policy to that bucket. We'll then build an Elastic Load Balancer, or ELB, and in 2 availability zones, we'll spin up 2 EC2 instances in an auto-scaling group. And because we'll have monitoring on the ELB, we can add instances behind the ELB once the latency of the ELB grows large. We'll also create a master and slave RDS setup using MySQL. The EC2 instances are going to serve Drupal, and the data is going to be saved in the RDS. All of these resources will be created with the CloudFormation template. If we tried to do all this by hand, we could easily burn up a half a day. With CloudFormation, we'll get everything spun up in just about an hour or so. In this lesson, we learned the resources that we're going to build and how they're interconnected, and we learned how we'll build those resources with CloudFormation. Now that you're finished with this lesson, we highly suggest you immediately move to the next chapter and go all the way through. Again, this chapter is best consumed in one setting, so you don't have to create, delete, and then recreate your stack over and over.